Whoa! Hello there. Hi,
Hello!
Frosty.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Frosty, have you seen our friend Bill?
Who's that?
He's an outdoor cat.
I don't much care for cats.
Welcome to Worcester Council Theater 3000, everybody, here in the beautiful city of Worcester, Massachusetts, brought to you by Crafty Kombucha, Worcester's local culture. Bill, how are you?
Just great. My roommate has COVID. Just found out today. So I am hiding at my girlfriend's house. This is her Frosty, not mine. But I
Whoa,
love him anyway.
girlfriend. What a cool dude. This guy's
No.
showing off. He's got a girlfriend.
Yeah. Just in case you were wondering. But this is going to be like she lives in Canada, so she can't come to the dance. Okay.
I was wondering, yeah, because I don't know her. Yeah, so
Yeah.
she goes to a different school than us.
She goes to a different school. She's actually from Canada, and she can't travel across state lines. That's why I always have to go to Canada to hang out with my girlfriend.
That's right.
She's
Yeah,
never, yeah.
that's right. That's why you're
That's why.
always gone for one day every month.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's right. I'm in Canada with my real life girlfriend. Um,
That's right. That's what's up.
and she likes crafty kombucha too. I always bring her a bottle when I go up to Canada to visit her, where she
Wow, this
lives.
guy smuggles kombucha into Canada.
Yeah, it's very legal.
So, yeah. Oh, something's wrong. Uh-oh.
What's going on?
I think Dude Tremble's mad that I have a girlfriend too. Sorry, dude. You had your shot.
Sorry, Brian. Crafty is a great last minute gift for any cool person in your life who wants to support a local business who does make very delicious drinks. And we're happy that they are Santa Claus bringing kombucha down the chimney. Just kidding. I don't have a chimney. I'll never have a chimney.
Don't get a chimney. I have a chimney, and it's just costs money. We have to get it fixed. I've never used it once.
Yeah, it's just a weird hole in your house.
Yeah, and air comes down it, and then sometimes a bird could, at any given moment, a bird could come into my house through a big hole.
That's cool. And it might be an owl who brings you letters.
Aww. And I can go to Hogwarts finally.
Yes, you can.
Destroy
so this is
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. So this meeting we got here tonight is, I believe, the penultimate meeting of this city council. I think they're meeting next week. I'm actually not sure of that right now.
That's a good question.
Let me see if it's on the. I'm gonna do that right now.
I think I want to say that they're not, but I could be making that up.
The schedule says no meeting next week.
Yeah, there we go.
So this is, as far as we know, the last meeting of the year and of this current city council, because on January 3rd, the new city council is getting inaugurated. That is 2 Mondays from now.
And we will have a special live stream event for the inauguration, just to let everybody know. Don't worry.
We will.
We will be.
The inauguration is interesting. The mayor makes a speech outlining the priorities over the next couple of years, but and that's interesting. It'll be nice to see some new people coming in.
Yeah, it's gonna be actually. But before we get into that, and before we get into the meeting tonight, let's bring in our other of the 3 wise men that are here tonight. Our own little Grinch, Brendan Melican, everybody, welcome up to the stream.
What's happening, guys? Billy,
Hey,
you
buddy.
and Frosty have the exact same dead button eyes tonight. I don't know what's going on, but like you've got this 1,000-yard stare thing, man. That's really disconcerting.
Well, I'm trying to match his energy.
All right. Cool. Love it.
Frosty, step it up. You're on TV, man.
What do we have tonight, Bill?
We have Mo Bergman has put an order on to look at charter review. After last week, you'll remember how he got the order to change the city council to match the school committee districts. He got that filed instead of tabled, and now he has an order on to request that the city manager look at considering a review procedure of the city charter in 2022. So that's, to my mind, the big ticket item on the agenda. There's also the charter contract, which might be interesting. And that's one of Matt Wally's pet projects is municipal broadband, which I think would be a really good idea. And this locks the city into a 5-year contract with Spectrum. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure if there will be any contention on this, given that there's a municipal broadband committee, but we'll see.
Maybe
It's a weird one, right? Because it's there's that contract technically is just for cable services. But obviously, internet and cable are inextricably linked, right? Like, so, like the city's having this conversation about muni broadband and whatnot. Charter just packages that with the cable, like that. It's not part of the contract at all. It's again, according to the charter, it's just the cable side of things.
Just cable, right? Because the charter hasn't been updated since the 80s.
Yeah, there was no internet. Well, maybe a couple of BBSs that run at a WPI, but beyond that, yeah, there was nothing.
Yeah, right. There was no internet last time we looked at the charter, which should tell you something.
Maybe Mo is onto something.
Do you? Yeah.
I sincerely doubt that's why he wants to open the charter.
Yeah, there's not a chance. I would say it's much more likely that Mo mixed up the different charters between the cable company and the city's charter than he actually gives a shit about if we get municipal broadband.
Yeah, you're right.
Watching the last round of meetings that they had for the hearings that they had for charter were kind of hilarious too. Like nobody had anything good to say about charter except for their lobbyist. He's a big fan of their services. Shocking.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, nobody else but also that was the thing that was weird too. And I think Gary tried to allude to this 2 or 3 weeks back that nobody was talking about cable services, even though that's what the contract renewal is about. All anyone was doing was complaining really about beyond price, but they're really complaining about the internet side of things.
I mean, that makes sense in a lot of ways. Hey, Ben, it makes sense in a lot of ways because one, I think the people increasingly are going to streaming services for cable, and even if they're not, they don't really care what the difference is between like options for cable service are not really important.
Right.
It's all about price with cable.
Yeah. And
so
it's pretty steep. One interesting thing here is that longtime cable TV subscribers will be given the same discount offers as new customers are given. And like the standard new internet thing is like $40 a month for the first year, and then it goes to $60. So does that make it just $40 a month or what? So that's an interesting question.
I think the argument was that they lure people in with these like crazy great deals, and then like you said, after a year your price doubles, especially on the cable side. It'll go from like $99 to like $225 for like the big packages and what have you.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if they're going to do that retroactively, or what they're more likely to do is just not give discounts, right? Like you don't have any other options. That's the wonderful thing for the cable industry in the cable industry is that they have internal no compete agreements. So it's not like if I feel like he's got something to tell us now.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a
what do you know, Frosty?
I'm gonna use
Where's that nose been?
Poor guy's going to melt.
Yeah, this is like that
I
scene
was
in
there.
the greenhouse.
I was there the night that Santa got murdered.
Oh, I gave you all the clues, Mr. Policeman.
Yeah, so much fun.
Anyone else a big fan of the Snowman Killer movie?
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Ooh, check it out, dude.
I have watched Jingle All the Way like 4 times in the past week, though. It's such a good one.
I think it's the continuation. I think it's the same world.
Oh, sick.
The Jingle verse.
The Jingleverse. Step into the Jingleverse. Step into the Jingleverse. You will be happy. But anyway, before I interrupted you, I'm gonna have so much fun with this tonight. It's gonna be so annoying for everybody but me. Before I interrupted you, Brendan, you were saying. I'm sorry.
Oh no, just the idea. There's internal no compete agreements with the cable industry, so it's like Charter and Time Warner just agree as professionals not to encroach on each other's territory, right? So even if 100% of Worcester residents agree that we don't want Charter here, nobody else comes in, right? It's their territory. It's a really fucked up industry that the city is beholden to.
Right. Yeah, it's a complete monopoly in terms of being a resident in Worcester. You can't choose a different internet provider.
Right.
And that's just sort of messed up. Like, why? How did we get here? How did we get here in freedom-loving America that we cannot pick our internet provider, you know?
And the one real negative that I saw come out of the meetings was our new friend, Eric Batista, spoke at the last one, kind of downplaying the city's ability to build up infrastructure in a meaningful amount of time to like make a quick switch to Muni broadband.
Oh, good. He was tempering people's expectations that the city ever does anything good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we definitely want to crush.
So you could say he's learning how to be a good city manager. Then.
One could say.
Yeah, one could say that. One could say he's learning from the best on how to be a good dream squasher. Shut up and pay your cable bill.
I wonder if it's the only grooming that Ed Augustus has ever done.
Surely. I had an interesting conversation with somebody about Ed Augustus' personal life that I can't share. So I'll just say that and then not tell the story.
Yeah, no.
What have been in that? Well, that's one of the other things too when it comes to cable, not Ed's personal life, that I find interesting as well is it's the one area. So the infrastructure, like the lines, poles, whatever, are owned by the telecoms and what have you. That's totally something we could take by eminent domain if we wanted to, right? Like it's no thing for like the Midtown Mall just to be swiped up, but like, don't you dare touch that dead pine tree stuck in my front lawn.
Yeah, right.
All right, here we go.
And away we go.
The roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Here.
Councilor Caloria,
Here.
Councilor King,
Here.
I hope that crazy
Carlson.
lady comes back. That was fun.
Councilor Rivera,
Candy's not
Here.
here. Whoa,
Councilor
what the
Rose.
hell? Sarai, what the fuck?
Councilor Rosen,
Here.
Councilor
Is
Rosen,
she in the Andes?
Councilor Toomey,
Here.
Councilor Wally here, and Mayor Petty.
Here. So we have a acknowledgement first before we go into the agenda.
Candy.
We're going to be
Yeah, is
sending
she
farewell to Councilor
having
Matthew
COVID
Wally,
somewhere?
and, wish him well.
It's because she didn't wear it. Yeah, she's out spreading it. She's at Leo's right now. Just coughing on old people.
Point of order. I had someone make the comment that it wasn't nice that we make fun or I make fun of Joe Petty's speaking.
May Petty?
I just want to make clear to anyone who's paying attention that they did it they said in the context of he
Thank
grew
you,
up with
Madam
speech
Chair,
impediment
and,
and he had a bad stutter.
Tonight's,
See, I'm not making
Council
fun of a guy
Wally's
with a
last
stutter. I'm
meeting
making
tonight,
fun of a guy with a
for 4
terrible
years.
Worcester accent.
Very productive
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, that's what it comes down
That's-
to. Yeah.
Council's
that's
behalf,
different.
and, did a great job, very
Oh, no.
passionate to his district. and to
He
the
does
city
have one
Worcester.
of the most iconic
What I always
Worcester
liked about
accents
Council Wally
Yeah.
is that he
of all time.
was always well prepared. And I know it takes a lot of time, especially in District 5. There's a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, which always responded in a timely manner, especially when you have a young family. His wife Kate's with us tonight, and Connor and Rosie's with us tonight.
Oh, they're going to give Wally the chair. They always give
Throw the
him a chair.
But again, I just
Yeah,
want
while he
to
throws the
thank
chair.
you.
This is when he goes Joker mode, dude. This is
I'm
when he
gonna
gets
miss you. I
Joker-fied.
think the city of Worcester is going to miss you. Administration, well respected here in the city, and who knows? You're pretty young still. Still have a career left.
Can't wait to work with you when you're the
we have-
president of the
the doors
Chamber
may
of
open.
Commerce in 6 years, as we've already figured out.
Before we do that, we have the
Are they going to bring in the rail that we run him out of
have
town
the,
on now?
City council, administration, the manager, and we have a chair. And, you don't have to
That's
say
a
anything.
damn fine throwing chair.
You're good.
Matt Wally, throw the chair.
Since your time to Worcester Common Ground, you have upheld the highest ideals of the Jesuit education. You've always been a consistent and reasonable and compassionate voice for the people in your district. I will miss your preparedness and your thoughtful consideration on all the issues that came before us. Congratulations for all your success. Your experience and acumen will be missed by your colleagues and I. Thank you for your friendship and your talents that you shared so freely. I wish you the best in the years to come.
Who's
It's my
okay?
pleasure to
Who's
present you
who's,
to the City
whose
of Worcester
profile is this?
recognition
Mo,
service
get back to the
District 5
meeting.
for your time as a city
Yeah, Mo
council.
Bergman, do your job.
Yeah, I'll put this on there.
Yeah, we know, Mo. We know. You're not helping at all. Mo,
Does
what's
Kate
the
have a new
strategy?
hair color
with the...
tonight?
Oh, does she?
Looks a little darker than
Yeah, it's like a purplish silver.
Yeah. George, Councilor Russell?
George.
I like this view because if Wally's going to pull a gun out, we can see
Thank you,
it
Madam
happen.
Chair. You know, it's no secret that Matt Wally and I
Christmas tie.
come from different sides of town. We sometimes come from different sides of some issues, some very important issues. Well,
Oh my
one thing that I
God.
can
Are
say
they all
is
going to
Bros.
speak?
that
my
you
goodness. It's
never
going to be the
had
longest
to
meeting of the
question
year.
where Matt Wally
They're
was
all
or
gonna
where
do
he
this?
will be in the future on
Oh
any
my
issue,
God.
on any neighborhood issue,
Just fucking kill
or
me.
any specific issue in the city council chamber. He's a man of his word.
Soray's going to
He's a
do it
man
with a
of
time
courage,
delay from the
and he's a
Andes.
man that'll be back here serving in this council or
I
someplace
just wish
else.
in the middle of
very,
this
very
speech
soon.
we heard like glass
Matt, I wanna
breaking
thank
and
you
Stone Cold
on
music,
behalf of
and
the
then
people
Natel just
of
runs in
District 3
and just
and on behalf of the
blasts
people of the
everybody.
city,
Time's
for all
up.
your work, not only in this council chamber, but everything you do in the community on a regular basis. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you again in the near future.
I don't know if they can take public comment on this, but that'd be really funny if somebody called in and was like, actually, I think he sucks.
Speaking of public comment, do we know how the meeting turned out yesterday with regards to Jenny's motion on public comment?
I don't
Believe-
know.
There was some talk about it. Maybe we should get her to come on and
Yeah.
tell us in between her kids
As a
screaming.
former district councilor in District 5, where Matt's been the councilor for the last two
my
terms, last
God.
4 years. I think I'll speak for myself, but I probably in a way speak for most district councils over the years. You always think you're doing a great job. You think you're responding to your constituents in the
And then you
district.
go out and run
You're
it
very
at large and you
responsive
get
to
your
them,
fucking ass
receptive and
kicked.
so on. You go to neighborhood meetings, you go to events in the district, you try to be available, and you can't solve every problem, you can't please them all, but you try your best. So 4 years ago, when I decided to leave District 5, beautiful District 5.
Oh, wait, they're going to
and
do
run
this
at
for
large,
Gary Rosen, too.
I was
Yeah,
just
I was
going to say, they're
concerned.
going to do this for
concerned
Rosen
who
too.
would be
right?
elected
This is
in
going to be the
District 5,
longest meeting of all
because
time.
In my mind, Gary Rosen was doing a great job, so we wanted someone to continue.
I love how they're always just
beautiful
like
District
they're
5.
saying, I haven't heard
And
one.
Matt came on, and I
Well,
knew
did.
Matt.
They have not
that
listed a
well, but I knew
single
him.
piece of
Watched him during the
policy.
campaign. I was very pleased that he was taking over the council seat in beautiful District 5.
And Candy was
I
right
know
to skip
Matt's
this meeting.
parents very, very well, known him for years, and
Credit where due.
just a good
She's not
family,
on. They didn't.
good
They
people.
didn't I
during
didn't
the
hear her.
last
There we
couple of
go.
months at different
Rosen and
events.
the
I've been in
Hosen.
District 5 because it's where I still spend more of my time as a city council, even though I'm at large.
Hosen Rosen
Beautiful
is
District
the
5, which
title
obviously
of
is my
a
home and
very
my past,
interesting
my former,
videotape.
council district. But I talked to many people. I've talked to business people. I've just mentioned, and I asked a lot of people, I said, give me a couple of adjectives or terms that you would use to describe Matt Wally.
Ooh.
And I didn't know what they were going to say.
Dangerous
I knew
move.
it would be good. I knew it would be good because I have watched Matt the last 4 years and very, very proud of the work he's done. So I just want to list a few of the terms and adjectives, and they're all true. It was only the last one that might be a little shaky.
Stiff.
A family man.
Do you guys hear
certainly a
Trump
family-
in
we all
his
know that,
voice?
a family man.
Oh, big
I
time.
close
Every
my
time.
eyes and I
Gentleman,
picture
or as
Trump.
one of my
Every time he speaks.
constituents, a Jewish constituent, say, Matt, you're a mensch. And honest. These are what people said. Decent. These are words that we would all say, that's right, of Matt. Trustworthy. Conscientious. Always
Sicko
there.
mode.
When I had when people had concerns about what was going on in District 5, they would call me. I wouldn't always
dormant
show
desire
up
to
at the
kill.
house or the site. I try to solve the problems, but it wasn't always a visit. I know Matt
Absolute
made so many
unit.
visits. He'd always be out there. If it was a sidewalk or a street, and he'd be looking at the.
You know, Matt,
the
you've
best
done a
way to
really
do
good
it.
job recusing yourself.
Very
over these past 4
responsive,
years.
effective, ethical. These are
Matt Wally
all
has a
words
butt that just
really
won't
do
quit.
Apply to Matt Wally. Principled, unpretentious, the modest guy. And the last one that one woman said, I don't think it's a
An
bad-
android. A human looking android.
is
That
not
was
as
bullshit.
Gary
Yes, with
Rose.
all of this.
she's right there. She's right. So they love you, Matt, in the district. You certainly will be missed. You were my district councilor. And looking forward, obviously, I think we both are, and the people in the district will have a new councilor. Hopefully, we'll support her and she'll do pretty well. But you leave your mark on beautiful.
They can
District
barely
5. You really
hold back
do.
their disdain.
You come through.
Tell.
People in that
Hopefully
district
we'll
really
support
think
her.
the world of you. And I do too. And to show how
Oh,
thoughtful,
boy.
even Matt gave me, because I'm leaving, but I've asked, I want people to know I'm not being snubbed tonight. I've asked not to have them speak about me, my colleagues. 'cause
Thank God, Gary.
not me,
I'm a humble
like that.
man, whereas
Maybe
Matt
it's
is
because I've
not.
been around so long. But Matt
You're
gave
a
me a great
hero.
card here, and the message I won't read, but it was a very wonderful message, which just shows who Matt Wally is, the thoughtfulness and the decency. A mensch, definitely, you're a mensch.
What a power
Thank you.
move on Gary Rosen's part here.
I know,
Saying
to
he
call it
always
out,
speaks
yeah.
about me, but I'm going to talk about
I
Matt
said-
Wally for an embarrassing.
I said
moment.
don't.
I'll try to keep the sentiments
I guess
more
Matt
of a
decided not
celebration
to
than a eulogy because sometimes
do
the
that,
lines
but I
get
did.
blurred. But there is no need for eulogy. I suspect, Matt, once you and Katie, the kids grow up a little bit and you and Katie talk more about it, I suspect you'll be serving somewhere back in the city. And you should be, because in a time when being respectful to one another is hard to find and
That's a great
agreeing
question.
to disagree in a respectful way is not the norm. You certainly lived up to those standards, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. I've always found you to be trustworthy, respectful, even few times agree to disagree. It's always been done in the most professional manners. It's been said by my other colleagues.
Mo, when you're done
I know
with this,
your
can you
parents a
tell us
little
how you
bit as
really
well.
feel?
It's no surprise to me. The apple doesn't fall.
Mike
far
Benedetti and I
from
have
the
this
tree,
running
Katie
theory
as well.
that Worcester is
And
really
as a
just a
professional
giant
person
sitcom,
and also
and the
somebody
city
who's
council
engaged and
yearly
cares deeply
calendar
about
is the
city.
season.
I would just
Now
say
I'm
enjoy
actually
the time with your
terrified
kids
watching
because
this
that's
that
something you'll
at the end
never
of the
get
meeting,
back.
Matt's just going to
And
wake
those
up
of
like
us
the
that
last
sometimes
episode of
have served
Newhart,
when our
and like
kids were
we're all
young
Auburn residents
realize
just
that
sitting at
as
the Auburn
important
Mall
as
at
to serve, it's also
Orange
important to
Julius.
be there
And
when the kids are particularly small. So enjoy your time together. I know in the past we've kind of gone around the room and given out some gifts or some tokens. I know you got the key to the city. I can't top that. You got a chair. I can't top that either. But just so you don't forget about some of the things we talked about and you stood for on the city council,
I got you
I
some
actually had to
cocaine
go on
and brass
eBay to
knuckles.
find this. It's a vintage Charter Communications hat. And when you walk the kids around Elm Park, I want you to think about all the problems we have with our cable system and all the contributions you've made in trying to straighten that out and put us in the right direction. And hopefully by the time you come back to serve in the city of Worcester, whatever capacity that is, we'll have our own cable service. But Matt, you will sorely be missed. And I
Wow.
could just say, as much as I
Telegraphing his,
understood
his
and
vote tonight,
appreciated the way you approach things in a very tempered kind of way, that the approach was always to try to work together try to come up with solutions. And, I think we're going to miss that going forward. I know we're going to miss that going forward. And I know we're going to miss it more than we realize tonight. But beyond that, in the short term, enjoy your wife, your family, your parents, and
this isn't going to get old all night.
And look forward to seeing you in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Corio.
Matt, I just want to thank you for your service.
And I would
thank
like to
you
know who you
for
are. I don't know.
the amount of collaboration that we did with District 5. I know that we had various projects that we did together, including Hurd Street, which began at Judy's kitchen table, watching the trucks go by and going up on the corner and listening to Judy with her handwritten notes and making sure that we were attentive. And we did some good stuff on Hurd Street. And then we had Clover Street when we were in Deb's front yard once, and then we were in our living room another time. So we were in Clover and Hurd Street quite a bit, and we were able to come to a resolution as well. And then we had Upper Pleasant Street, which we also collaborated on the traffic up there, and we held that neighborhood meeting, which we had over 100 people at. And
Bill, you're muted.
Work together, and I think the reason I'm mentioning
this,
Man, I was spitting fire over here, and I was
my
like, "Why is no one
colleague
laughing?"
here, Councilor Bergman, collaboration
Okay,
and
I
working
wasn't
together
even-
is really.
But what I said is,
getting things done. And even though I'm a
They
counselor
did it in
at
the
large,
they did it in the
I
yard.
did calls
They did it in
people
the
all
house.
over, and it was
Menage a
really
trois.
something
Very
at that time
kinky.
to walk the neighborhood
it.
to see what we could do on a parking
But
and
you did
traffic.
open with thank you for your
Your
service.
wife came along and said, "We're on your way to a vacation."
That's what she said, and it was all said and done.
Really, it was very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for my
to work
service.
with you. It was a pleasure. I appreciated your insight on the issues. I thought, it was good to hear what you had to say. You had a different perspective, or even if you had the same perspective.
I
it
thought
was
my
good
least
to
favorite city council
have,
tradition was
out
the
there and
tax rate
really
vote, but this
try
is
to work on making the district
kinda
a better
taking-
district. So
taking
again,
the-
good luck,
the
Matt,
mantle
and I
here. This
know
is
we'll see
really
you back here or in some
obnoxious.
capacity again.
It really is. I mean, imagine
Just have
if
a
like Congress
party.
did this. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think, Matthew, I first met you.
Christian, you're gonna do it
Christian's
too?
going to destroy him.
When we were running at large, and
No,
sticks in my mind,
no.
we were somewhere up in Burncoat. I think Nick DeAndrea was there, and we had a little bit more of an interaction. And I know the challenges of public service we see even before us today. With the
How we
family.
got to that point is
when
people
I
have been
think
too
about
polite
your tenure
to tell
here,
the city council
I
they're
think
annoying
about,
and suck shit
not
and
only
don't do their jobs.
what we've heard tonight,
But that's
as relates
changing
to
now.
being consistent.
With Worcester Council Theater 3000. You are
Yeah,
annoying,
very clear
you suck shit,
of
and
where
you
you
don't
are
do your
on
job.
particular issues. But I see you as balanced in that
You're
way.
weird. You're a weirdo.
There's
I
been
hate
a
you.
number of
You're
things. or a few
strange, you're a
things that
weirdo.
we certainly
You're
saw,
tacky and I hate you.
in a markedly different
You're
way.
tacky. And I
But the way you conducted yourselves throughout that, even with some of the names that were thrown around, some of the energy that was directed at you, you remained steadfast to your principles. And that's something I think that we
What
all
names?
can
I'm curious.
I know, I
think
want to know
about
now.
as we think about our service. I wish you well. I don't want to see you back unless you want to be back. I'm not going to presume anything in any capacity. But I know as someone who has that sort of traditional 9-to-5 job, when I think of someone else on the council who has maybe a little less flexibility.
Miss your scent.
And with the family
I'll miss
commitments.
your musk.
And when I think about, once again, being balanced.
I'll miss that gun that pops out of your thigh.
I certainly appreciate that. And I know that when you roll up your sleeves on a particular issue, it's an issue that's with merit. It's not an issue to do any sort of, grandstanding or things of that nature.
No, we're not going to do any
something
grandstanding.
that you think is best for the
Yeah,
district
that
and
would
for
be
the city.
insane.
Your business
Definitely not doing
acumen,
any grandstanding.
is something that I think we'll miss on the council.
I don't want to see you back.
I wish you very well, good health, and great family. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Rivera.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to say,
No.
I really want to thank Matt for his
Dude,
service.
she's
It's
straight up
not
flexing
easy
right now.
to be
The
in public
glasses.
office.
Wonderful to
and
join
it's
you
even
here
harder
from this
when you're
Bond
trying to
villain
raise a
layer.
family and trying to split your time. And it's very
She does
difficult
look
when
like
you're
a Bond
district
villain,
counselor.
doesn't she?
I've had an opportunity because our districts
Well, Mr. Wally.
to be able to work on several things with Matt, and it's always been a pleasure. I want to say, one of the things that's really so refreshing about Matt Wally is, that
Where
he
in the
definitely
world
has his
is
heart in the
Ry
right
Rivera?
place. You may not agree with him, you may not see things the way you see, but you cannot question that he has his heart in the right place. And I really, really appreciate that.
They
And
always like to
also,
talk about how they
one of the things
disagree
that's been
sometimes,
great
but
about
when
him
has
is
Matt
that he
Wally
was
ever
always
taken a
willing
position?
to kind of have a conversation,
Like, are they just saying that because
listen
that's
and
supposed to
learn,
happen?
especially when it came to issues of things that were, affecting marginalized community. He was always very
This is
willing
actually
to kind of
Boys
be
and Girls
open
Club way.
and approachable about that, and also coming forth and being very purposeful and coming and wanting to ask questions and wanting to learn. And
You're right.
not everyone really does that. And so I really, really want to just say how grateful I am about that. I kind of wanted to be up on the scenery as the sun sets in Antigua, Guatemala, which is a beautiful
Antigua,
place. But I wanted to say
Guatemala.
that,
There it is.
at sunset, it's just,
So
it's
she
still
could be
beautiful.
here
So
from
as you serve, it's kind of
Guatemala,
a
and
beautiful
Candy
sunset.
couldn't be here at all.
And it's like Councilor Bergman said, it's not a eulogy. We still kind of roll in similar circles. So I look forward to working with you.
Guatemala clearly has fantastic
And I know
internet
you have a servant heart, and so I know
Well,
you're
they're on a
going
charter,
to
probably.
serving. And so the beauty of a sunset is there's always a sunrise.
They have municipal
Please
broadband
enjoy your family.
and Antigua.
They probably
This is
do.
definitely a wonderful time for your family, and you and your wives deserve to enjoy every minute of it. Thank you again for your service. You have a city and behalf of District 4 that is very grateful for the time that
I
you
would
have
flash
given.
the
and
disclaimer,
dedicated to
but
the
this is
city.
our sponsor speaking right now.
Thank you, Council Toon.
Make sure you drink crafty kombucha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Matt, I just saw your family walk out, so I'll be much quicker than one would think. I'm going to miss you.
Halfway through
Get
your
drunk off crafty
Sitting
kombucha
next
and
to you,
run
I'm
Matt
going
Wally
to
over.
miss your leadership on urban technologies, innovation, and environment subcommittee that we are both on. I'm also impressed with your integrity.
HEB's going to give him a big wet
Your
kiss.
finance focused, your honesty, and your ability to truly
A sloppy,
try to
soppy
understand,
kiss.
all of the issues.
Wow.
And
Kate is not wearing
that's
one of her
something
own
that
masks
I know that you
tonight.
came to this council.
Yeah, she's wearing a
truly
Republican
with an
mask.
open heart.
I
with
was
an
going to say,
open
now that
mind,
COVID's real again, she
try
didn't want
work
to
very closely to
Yeah.
be associated with it.
some of the great things. And you should be very proud over the past 4 years of where we are today. You've been part of that history. You've been part of the votes. And I think it's really important that you recognize that you've really made a positive impact in our city.
We got Bo Mergman
again,
on the scene.
I gave you a little present myself, as well as Gary. I didn't want to leave him out. But
And here's a coupon, half off anything on my Etsy
remember
store.
that's the entire city. We love you. You did
If
a
you
great
spend
job.
$40.
I'm sure I'll be hearing from you.
If you spend $40.
My phone's
Shipping
always
not
open
included.
for you. And I would really appreciate your continued input. And
Guys, the
I
orgy
know
they're going to
that,
have
we'll be
after
seeing
this
each other. So
is
thank
going
you,
to be
for your service,
intense.
and God bless you and your family.
Everybody
Can't
gets
wait.
COVID.
Thank you. Council Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm really going to miss Matt. I think the city is going to miss Matt.
How many left?
We had quite a bit in common. He's a Burncoat guy, born and raised. Family connections, a comparable circle of
That's it,
friends.
right?
No, I'm going to miss
One in
Matt
five
the
about
best.
districts.
No,
We
I'm
addressed
going to miss
a lot
Matt
of
the
issues together. We
best.
sat on
No,
a
he's
I'm gonna
my
miss
best
Matt
friend.
the best.
we
He's
came
my
in
best
together,
friend.
and we shared a desk that had no computer, despite everybody else having one. I guess that was some hazing early on, but despite coming in together, I think that I learned a lot from
This
Matt.
isn't a eulogy, Q2.
Professionalism,
This is
preparedness,
definitely
mostly
not
being
a eulogy.
thoughtful,
His political career
and
is
his
not
incredible
over.
love for the city was really, really contagious. And he's
What?
also
No,
one of the most
it
genuine and
wasn't.
honest people I know. I remember, prepping for a speech that we had here in council, and I was really
Why do they
excited
do
to get my
this?
talking
This is
points
so
out, and
baffling.
Sat down and I gave him an elbow and I said,
It's like all the
"How
theater
did I
that they
do?"
do.
And he
It's
looked
for
at me
them.
dead in the
It's for
eyes.
them and
It
us
wasn't
and
your
the
best.
22 people watching us.
But that's Matt. Just
you're right.
And
truly
we're all clowning on
honest,
them.
and I'm truly happy for him. He gets to spend more time with his kids and family. This job is very, very difficult when you have a young family. I want to thank Katie and the kids for lending him to us for these 4 years, and I'm really going to miss him. And I look forward to having some conversations with him about.
I look forward to Matt Wally's being
decisions
the
that we're
last
making
face
here
I
in the
see
city
before
where
I
it isn't
die.
an open meeting law violation.
Guys, it took me a
Thank
minute,
you
but
for
I
your
figured out who
service.
Sarai
I'm
looks
so
like to
proud
me.
to call you a colleague and a friend. And
Yzma from Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yeah,
Which
I
took
love it,
place in Machu Picchu.
Wow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh no,
Just echo
not
the
you
words
too,
of,
Ed.
the counselors, and that on behalf of
Oh,
myself and
boy.
the administration, we're really going to miss.
I
Counselor
like that you
Wally's
voted for the ballpark,
professionalism,
and otherwise I never
dedication
listened to you or
his
did anything you
district,
asked me to
his
do.
duties as a city councilor.
You're useless
He
to
comes
me.
from a family of public
I'll never
servants,
think about you ever
longtime-
again.
Longtime educators.
You're nothing.
His wife,
You know that
Kate,
Mad Men meme?
continues
I
to
don't think
serve
about
on
you
the
at all.
library
That's how I
board,
feel about you.
and so they're all great role models.
Speaking of eulogies, did you guys read that 42-page piece Mass Live did about Ed over the weekend?
No.
Yes, I did.
I saw the photo.
Egregious.
There's so many
Egregious.
things, whether it be the
Lord,
broadband committee.
guys, I'm telling
halfway
you,
through
I've
a
been saying
post.
this.
Hadley Park.
Oh, go ahead.
The improvement.
I'm halfway through a
in,
post about
urban
that
forest
that
system
story.
Or its
And the
education
one, the
department that
racist
will
Ray
be
Mariano
included in
story
next year's
too.
budget, that
That
are
was
all
like,
because of Councilor Wally's
that was like,
leadership, his vision, his foresight.
like he died and was
so
also
constituent
Mother
services are
Teresa
critically
and
important.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's the
ability to
beginning
work with
of a
people, his
campaign. I'm
ability to
telling
kind of
you,
look
he's going to run
forward
for governor.
to where the
That's
city
it, right?
needs
I mean,
to
like
be,
that is the story you run
I
when
think
somebody
was
won
really
the election for
exceptional.
governor from a
And I
you
know
Yeah.
our
I know where it's built.
administration has
This
benefited
is
from that
political.
vision,
It's a
from that
it's a
leadership.
build up.
No,
the start of a
no,
build.
that can't be it.
approach
No, Ed Augustus is
public
not going to run
policy
for
making.
governor.
I'm telling you, dude.
can't
I
think of
said
somebody
it.
I
I said it to
respect
Che
more
when
than
Che left the
Councilor
office.
Wally. We will miss
I
him,
said it to him.
but
I
look
said,
forward, hopefully,
Ed Augustus
to his
is running
continued
for
public
governor, and
service
he's going to
in
get his
capacity
fucking
or
ass
another.
kicked.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilor Wally?
See?
No,
Bo
Ed won't
Merkman
run
gets
for
it.
governor.
I think
Thank you,
it's.
Mr.
I
Mayor.
actually
The
think it's
comments were
ludicrous too,
unexpected,
Bill. But at the
certainly
same time, like
very
we talked about this a
thankful.
couple weeks ago, like the math currently, you need someone from Central
Spent the
Mass
last
on a
4
ticket
years trying
to
to
actually have a
That's
successful
true.
campaign.
It will be no different. I want to
So
thank
it's
the
crazy,
voters of District
but it's not
5 putting
the
their trust in
craziest
you to
thing. We do have a
represent them
ballpark in Kelly
in
Square.
City Hall.
Marty
I think
Walsh is
no
going to
other
do an
high-
event at the
no
ballpark
higher honor than being
sometime early
elected
next
in
spring,
public
and
office
it's
to serve
with
this
Ed
city.
Augustus, and it's going to be
I'd
the
like to thank
beginning
my
of the
peers on
campaign.
council.
Oh
We
my
all have
God!
differences,
Replace.
but we're
I
all
want
gonna
to file a
work
citizen
together.
petition
Similarity
to
have
replace the
that
Columbus
similar
statue with
goal.
Ed, just to have all the city councils be like, I think that's a great idea.
But we all share a
Yeah.
bond, and I look forward to
You know,
sharing
Columbus
that
was a
bond
bad
with you
guy.
as I'm out of office. Mr.
And Ed's
Mayor,
like
Mr.
a really good
Manager,
guy.
Under your leadership, the last few years, the city has done fantastic things, and I look forward to
Oh my
watching.
God.
That's my wild
in the next
theory
couple
that
of
I've been
years as
holding
the
on
city
to
continues
since
to
last
grow.
year, and
Many of us can look back
I just
Well, it's
wanted
getting to be
to say it
announcing
on a
time.
recorded
by where
event.
we got the political bug or where we started to follow the activities in the public arena. And I think of my parents, as the manager mentioned. My dad was a principal here in the Worcester Public School System.
He was my
mother
principal.
was a school
He was
psychologist.
he was cool as
And
hell.
during dinners growing up, we weren't allowed. We're certainly interested in what was happening at the school committee, and the school committee would always be on the TV. And I know the names from back then, and they were men and women were giants to me. And then as I got older, I convinced them on.
It's going to be
Tuesday
the
nights
Tim
we should
Murray and
turn the
Augustus
TV on
ticket.
also, and I followed school committee. I was
Their slogan's going to
lucky
be
to
DUIs
be a
don't
neighbor
matter.
Former Mayor Tim Murray. And growing up, I remember I was friendly with his
Drive
boys.
fast, govern
And
hard.
He had all the signs in his garage. And I would help him on his campaigns, and I would watch him on TV. I would be with him, and we'd take us throughout the city, and the admiration that he received, and not only the admiration he received, but his commitment to the city.
Oh, I'm going to govern. I'm going to govern hard. Long and
Texting
hard.
furiously.
He was one of the individuals who I approached when I was thinking of running. And he just said, Matt, you have to do it.
I gotta
Or else
tell
I'm
you,
always going to have that regret. And I thank
I will
former Mayor
say,
John Anderson for that
Tim Murray
wise
is
advice.
one of the best sports that I've
Finally, I'd
ever
like to
dealt
thank
with.
my wife, Kate,
because me and
All of
Connolly
us
did
know
that
the difficulties of
St.
this
Patrick's
job,
Day roast
and
a couple of years ago,
the
and I
burden falls
spent
on our
almost the
spouse
entire
to make
time
sure
making
our
jokes
home
about Tim
life is
Murray
running
driving
efficiently
200
on
miles an
time,
hour.
and she's done a great
And
job
he came up to me
for that.
afterwards
So
and
I
he
thank
bought me
her.
a
I can't
beer
think of a better
and he
partner
shook my
to
hand
take
and he
this
said
journey
that
with over
he
the
said
last
that
4 years.
fucking
And
ruled.
Kate,
That's
my
a
first
quote.
term in
That
office, Connor
fucking
was
ruled.
born shortly after.
Oh, sick. That's good. He's
It
a
was
bad
so-
guy
I
to
was-
talk to.
And my second
No,
term in
he's
office,
yeah.
our daughter
He used to
Rosie
come into
was born.
tweeds all the time when I
And
worked
so I
there.
look forward to spending the next few years.
Yeah, he used to come into the
watching
Soul
them
when I
grow
worked
and
there.
participating in their lives. But I have missed out on a lot of
He's a good guy. He
their
tips a
lives.
lot.
As we know, the family life does take a
He
back
he
seat
tips
to
like he
this.
drives.
But I will say, because of them, I'll be leaving
Fast
City
and
Hall
loose.
a better man than when I entered. So I want to thank my family here, Kate, Connor, and Rosie, and certainly my parents, and then my peers, the mayor and the administration. So I thank you for a great journey. It's only been 4 years, but 4 years that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Shouldn't you be doing posts?
Yeah, who lets you out of your cage? No gruel for you tonight.
Make a meme, you worm.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Gary. Oh, Council Toomey?
I just wanted to say, I know
Oh
Gary
my
doesn't
God, are
want
you
a
kidding
big
me?
thing, but
For a
thank you,
second
Gary.
Okay.
No.
What's that?
Boy, oh boy.
Official thanks. Roll call.
Okay. Are we not supposed to say anything for Gary?
Correct.
Oh,
okay.
I missed that memo. I did. Is that rule 57?
Okay, we got approval of the minutes of December 7th, 2021. Roll call.
Christian versus everyone.
Is that
Council
rule
Brugman?
57?
Council
That's so good.
Calorio?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Mayor Carlson? Council Rivera?
That was so good.
Yes.
Oh.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Council Rosen?
Oh,
Yes.
that's right, we
Council
missed the
Russell?
sunset.
Yes. Council Toomey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Council Wally?
They talked
Yes.
so long
And
about
Mayor
Matt
Perry?
Wally that it got dark
Yes.
in Guatemala.
Yeah, kids
And,
running around the floor.
We'll hold 8C, which is charter order.
Oh, they're
And
gonna hold that.
also 12D, Rattle Street, that'll be held for the next meeting. But, then we'll go to public petition. The person may not speak for no more than 2 minutes on any item appearing on the agenda. So I know some people want to speak here tonight, but remember, I'm going to be back in 2 weeks. So I get 2 minutes. You want to say a few words? What's your name and see your name and see your residence?
Bill Jam, Worcester, Mass.
Speak right into that microphone. So sure.
Just want to say this is my first experience with dealing with the city council or dealing with my counselor over any issue. And to say, I'm sorry, I just want to get my glasses on so I can see. Give me a second.
Brian, do you think we could get 100 people together to call in real quick and put together 2-minute eulogies for Matt?
And
We'll just keep this bitch going all night.
Disappointed with the process would be an understatement.
Yeah, call in everybody.
In the terms of how we decide.
And say a meme from this show
neighborhood
on the line.
To me, zoning is a big deal.
My favorite part about watching Matt all these
I think
years
we're
is
better than that. I think the city is better
how
than that.
desperately the
council is
man
better
looks
than
like
the
he wants to
process
kill.
that we feel we've been through. From my viewpoint, it's come down to
How
my
he
city
how he
councilor
tempers
maybe
his
with
rage
some,
and doesn't murder a
discussions
citizen
with
once
the
a day.
developer.
I'll never understand, but I applaud.
We haven't really had much input when we look at it from that way, from that point of view. And why do I say that? The planning board last year, just around this time, met. At that time, we had only had a week preparation. We had 36 signatures of people, residents who were opposed. The comments from the planning board, and I quote, were zoning change is out of place, could be interpreted as spot zoning. This is close to spot zoning, concern for so much resident opposition, need more outreach, concern over traffic patterns. These concerns need to be addressed by the Committee of Economic Development, who they sent it to. From our point of view, those concerns weren't even addressed. We had a Zoom meeting, myself and a couple of the other neighbors with our counselor early on, and he had said there could be a traffic study done, there could be property value studies, there might be other things that we could do. He even asked us it came to it and there wasn't money in the budget for the traffic study, would we be willing to help call in and convince others that, it needs to be done and there needs to be money appropriated for it, which we said
Anybody have
we
any
would,
idea
but
what this guy's
none of that
talking about?
happened. Had a couple of meetings,
This guy's a robot.
council meetings, the Committee of Economic Development. I know I got to go quick. My counselor was in favor of it. One counselor, the first meeting, was opposed because it was the
I don't know
middle
what
of
he's talking about.
RS7. And another counselor said, what I want to hear from is the immediate neighbors, the immediate abutters. So the next meeting, that's
It's
what
not
we
the
really set
gas
out to do,
station
was
thing,
show
is it?
what the immediate neighbors and immediate abutters. We hadn't been in touch with all of them.
No, they
At
pulled
that
that
meeting,
themselves.
we came and said, we had our numbers, we had who the people were. There were 85% of the immediate abutters and the ones who were just close to them that were opposed to it. 7% were in favor of it, which was only 4.
Opposed to what?
And at the end of that meeting,
Yeah, right.
the attorney for the developer requested a 20-foot buffer. The original plan to the planning board was to have a 15-foot buffer. We were surprised that he was
building a moat?
suggesting coming back with a plan for a 20-foot buffer. It was approved that he can come back with it. They asked if he could come back in 2 weeks. He came back 8 months later, had the meeting 8 months later. And
I gotta say, you
my
guys think this
counselor
is
was still in
boring?
favor
If
of
you've
it. The
ever
one
watched
who
a zoning
was
board of appeals meeting,
opposed to it for being in
oh
the
my
middle of a
God.
residential said it looks like there's been a compromise reached.
Seppuku.
So he was now in favor of it. The one
The
who
entire
asked
time.
about
That's what I yearn for.
the immediate abutters said that they would defer to my counsel since he knew his district better than anyone else. All I really want to impress with you
I got
guys,
like a
and
cool
nobody else
email
needs to
letter
come
here.
back, is that there's still time to do the right thing. The people in this neighborhood just want to be heard when it comes to rezoning. Rezoning is about everyone. It's not just about one property owner. It affects the whole neighborhood. It affects people's values.
Stomp on it, Bill.
Property values. It affects people's way of life.
Oh, no.
It should be a better process than the process that we've gone through, where we get 1 week notice. We come back with, I've got them here, 144 people that are opposed to it, and those decisions were already made even before we came into the room.
Okay.
The only thing I'm asking is that this council have an
How
open
about
mind,
us?
and that this council treat the neighbors and the residents the way you would want to be treated, the way you would want your neighborhood treated, and at least take that into consideration, because if this was happening next door to you or next door to your neighbor, where somebody had purchased a single-family home that's surrounded by single-family residents and wanted to knock it down and put a strip mall, you would not be in favor of it. And if it was 2 houses down from you and it's all RS7, you would not be in favor of it. We're just asking for that to be awarded to us, that treatment. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Well,
What?
there's more people there to talk
We'll
about
let you
this. We'll
speak
find
a
out.
little bit longer than expected, but so we're going to hold to 2 minutes now because we'll be back. And I was corrected, it's 3 weeks from tonight, not 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
3 weeks from tonight is when it's being held.
So it'll be the 11th.
Okay, so that was 12
Hey.
for all my agenda people.
William Blankenship, Worcester. I just want to go on record is I'm opposed to the plan in its present form. It would seem to lessen the desirability of the.
Hold on, I'm going to
property
figure
of
out.
the
a plan.
abutters.
It's going to be so funny. It's definitely going to be like
If we could
a
reach a
2-bedroom.
compromise.
I mean, a
the
2.
compromise would seem to
unit.
be leave the
Oh,
house
yeah.
at number 7 Brattle.
It's so. This is
leave it
item
in place,
12D.
and that, if we have to
Change the
compromise,
zoning
that
of
would
2
lessen the
parcels
impact of the
located at 1
abutters.
Brattle Street and 7 Brattle Street from RS7 to
Lawyer for
BL
the developer
1.0.
suggested that the plan will enhance the neighborhood.
BL 1.0.
That's
Let me do a little
really
quick
true,
Google
and
here.
Number 7 Brattle could also.
That's
benefit
right. That's at the Brattle
from the
stop.
enhancement.
The Brattlesbury Market, right?
I wish
Yeah.
that the plan could be revised. to be
BL zones
respectful
should allow
of
limited liquor
neighborhood
licenses.
wishes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Less claps.
Name and city of residence.
Rich Gagney, live at 180 Holden Street.
God, this is just
My
a
wife and
clinic
I,
in towny accent.
Both opposed to this.
Rich
we're-
Gagney. I've been living over there for
right next to
43
both
years.
properties in question. And I want to thank the councilors that came down yesterday to get involved. Hopefully, we'll get a better look at things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Travis is clapping.
Bro,
for
your
this guy.
bro, public
Okay.
comments suck.
Hi, I hope you can hear me with the mask on. My name is Michelle Brown. I live on Brattle Street.
So BL is just limited
Not familiar
business.
with the area.
I'm trying to figure out
Brattle
what is
Street
allowed
has a
in
railroad
BL.
crossing, Brattle and Holden. This is Holden Street. There's 5 opportunities at least to get hit when you're driving down Brattle Street. You can
Oh my
get hit at Rochelle, you get hit at Ararat. There's a blinking light there now. The market, people pull in and out of the market.
I don't understand why these
In a
people
hurry
go through all of this
from both
rigmarole
Holden
instead of
Street
just
and
getting an
Brattle
early
Street.
jump and
This is
selling
a
their
railroad
house.
crossing. People on both sides. People
You've been tipped
run
off.
the railroad line.
Sell
the
now.
gate. There's been accidents there. When the traffic is stopped for the railroad, or you can be back right at 190.
That Brattle Street
There
neighborhood is a real
are-
treat on
mentioned to a
nextdoor.com.
neighbor
If you
today,
really
there's
like
Holden Street.
ruining your ability to
There's no
sleep at night,
crosswalk.
they're having a lot of fun up
You
there.
got to cross Holden Street or Brattle Street to get into the market. This is the market here. To get to a crosswalk, you walk
All
a
right. So
half a
if
mile.
any little gumshoes
mile
out there
up
want to start going through zoning board of agenda,
cross
zoning
almost
board
at
of
the Holden
appeals
Worcester
agendas to
line.
find this.
You don't have
I'm going to put the link in the
10-year-old,
chat in 1
kids
second.
who are
That's what I'm
gonna
doing.
walk a half
I
a
don't
mile up, half a
understand
mile
what
back.
the issue
There's
is.
no
Are they?
crosswalks.
What are they doing
There's
that these
also a
people
bus
don't
stop.
want?
So the bus
So
stop,
there's a proposal for something that's
patterns
not a house
you can have
going
on
in
Holden
at this
Street at any
address
time of day.
because they have to change the zoning from
highlights of
residential
the day, you can have
to
40
mixed
cars. I
zoning.
mentioned it to someone
So
today.
it's going to be some sort of
More traffic
business,
on Holden Street,
not
there's
a
already
single
40
family
cars
house.
there. Well, I went at 6 o'clock at night and it wasn't bad. But at the highlights
Oh
of
my
the time,
God, this NIMBY bullshit
I don't
is
know
just
how
so
you put
fucking
lights
annoying.
in.
Think of the fabric of the neighborhood,
Turn
Bill.
onto Holden Street.
I
from
know,
here.
right?
My son was driving a car and someone coming from Holden Street, this is Holden Street down
All
here,
right.
to turn onto Holden.
Did you guys know you can only get in
instead of
accidents
going
at
into the
intersections?
correct lane, cut the lane and totaled my car.
Travis, you want to throw that in the link?
This is-
We gotta let's figure it out, guys. Start looking through these agendas. Find Brattle
Well,
Street
we're not doing it during the
on
middle
one
of
of
a
these agendas.
pandemic or a school vacation week, because people aren't going to be driving. I'm opposed. I know it's a zoning change. I feel that if you're going to notify only the abutters and affect an entire neighborhood, Rochelle had so much traffic that they put in no left turns at certain times of day and no right turns. So, because people used to cut across.
For
Ararat,
God's
down
sake, Joe
Rochelle,
Petty,
so they
stand
can
up to
avoid all
someone
this. People also
for once in your
use the
damn
parking lot
life.
so they can avoid sitting on Holden Street.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I didn't know if I was going to speak or not, but I get so frustrated when I'm standing here because I know a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Very disappointed in our
Cool life story.
representative for District 1. Gary Rosen just got up and spoke about Matt Wally representing his district. We had no representation. We have had no traffic.
And my
We have
nephew
had
is a cop.
nothing. Property valuation, no interest in all the signatures we got. The store got 1,800 signatures. I don't care. None of them are from around our neighborhood. My husband and I have spent hours in the winter, in the middle of COVID, getting signatures
up.
and ringing doorbells.
God, this lady's
No one has
obnoxious.
cared about that. But what
Definitely had a
really
Cipro
bothers
sign
me
in her
is
front yard.
For the first time in 17 years, since
Definitely.
my friends that own the store, they've been my good friends for 25 years, they've turned on us. For the
Oh,
first
pending
time in
applications,
17
here
years,
we
after
go.
me putting up with some of the worst tenants I could have ever lived next to in my beautiful home that I've lived for 35 years and raised my
Oh,
children
shut the
with the
fuck
same
up,
neighbors.
lady.
I have a family from Brazil. We can only speak through our phones because they speak Portuguese. They have 2 children that have enrolled at Nelson Place School. They have
This is
their
classic
husband
Worcester
have
right
a
here.
job over at the Dairy Queen. He says he does this all day. He did a lot more in Brazil than do this all day. The wife takes some of her friends' kids in to babysit. They have a very handicapped family member living with them. They love living here. I don't care if they rented this home. They say, this is our dream. They tell me. They love this neighborhood. He's out raking his lawn at 10 o'clock at night with a shovel 2 weeks ago, putting all his leaves in brown
That's
bags
not-
to get him out in the front of the
that's how you
lawn.
do that.
He shovels if there's this much snow on the ground. I've had people live there before that they have to get 2 dumpsters in there to clean their trash out of that house. Their kids,
Oh my
they have
God.
picnics in the
Shut
backyard,
up.
cookouts, birthday parties,
She's like,
balloons. They use
you
my
should
backyard
listen to me.
now.
I'm
They love
being
it. They
nice
ring
about
the doorbell and
immigrants.
Say, can we use your playground? Those are the only words they know.
Can you
we
imagine how
use
bad
your
the situation
playground?
is
Swing
if I'm
set,
being nice
basketball
about
court.
immigrants?
I've given them furniture. I've given them toys for the kids.
That is
because
really
I
the
am
vibe,
so
isn't it?
happy with
Yeah.
who they are. Why does anyone
Oh
not
my God.
care whether they're renting or not, that they're going to tear their home down? This has got me so upset and overwhelmed. I don't know. I hope Sean Rose has to be the one to tell them they're tearing the house down, because there's no consideration here. So I'm asking, please, in the next 3 weeks, if you're not familiar with our area, please come out and see what's happening here.
Okay.
My husband and I have worked
The
our whole
neighborhood's
life.
changing.
We have value in our home, and this is going to completely take that away. So
I have a dream that she's
get
get a dozen of those
gets
puffy
rich.
jackets and she
That's
dyes
it.
her hair to
Thank
match
you.
each one of them.
Yeah,
Okay, so
she
it's
wasn't
3
going to
weeks from
speak.
tonight. I think that date's January 11th. I believe it's a Tuesday night. We'll have the council meeting on that. Okay.
What
Thank you
what
for
are they
coming.
talking about? I
Appreciate
can't
it.
find it. I'm all the way back in August.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wonder.
Anybody on the,
I want to know what they're so mad about.
You're going to tear down the brattle stop?
What's your name and city residence?
No, it's a zoning change.
Mr. Mayor, John Provost from Worcester. I'd like to speak against item 11A, the consent decree home rule petition
a little
for the
late there, bud.
changing the school committee. Mr. Mayor, I don't think I'm alone. This year,
Interesting, Mo, that you wouldn't say you could do that
most
to an
of us
at-large
under
counselor.
cover of COVID, all we have heard from the media is COVID, 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 and how great the ballpark is going to be. I've heard very little about this issue until the election, and they gave us these cards about the meetings which your legislative committee held.
Oh, interesting thought.
And
Paul.
one of those meetings only had 2 people show up. So my concern is we didn't
My
even
thing
have
is-
a primary because of the dearth of qualified candidates, both
He said
for
dearth.
the competition between qualified candidates, the selection between the school committee and also council. Now, and so I spoke against that. I said we need to have, this city needs the best qualified people on school committee and as well as council. And the at-large system that we have, I believe, serves that purpose. We are chartered, Mr. Mayor, as one city with one mayor, not 6 little fiefdoms with 6 little mayors and 6
I
children
like that he said
squabbling
fiefdoms.
amongst the resources. Now, the man who
What-
got
I
up and
like little
spoke to
mayors,
me
though. What are you
afterwards,
gonna do?
I went
Yeah.
on the
Hey,
meeting.
little
Everybody
on
gets a little
Illinois
mayor.
Street. He
I'd
was
love to be
part
a
of
little mayor than
this
mayor.
small but vocal group that seems to have been working
Sounds like a
all year
Comedy
long
Central
while
cartoon from the early
many
2000s.
of us have been asleep.
Lil Mayor.
And he said
Oh, look at this
that,
little mayor.
this change is necessary because the all-white school committee or a white majority school committee,
Here we
they
go.
vote in favor of projects in their own neighborhoods at the expense of minority neighborhoods.
Can you wrap up your comments?
Yes,
That's
sir.
never happened. No, that's never happened before.
I'll give you a few more seconds.
Okay.
He's going to say the N-word. Holy shit, he's going to say the N-word. He's winding
You
up for
have
it.
to
That we would
respect
want these
charity.
people on the school committee.
So many people don't know about this having happened and having been happening about this change. This is a big
yeah,
change.
Molly, you're right.
1985, I think, was the last change. It's all
Yes.
being done.
Those 2
I don't
addresses,
believe
1 and 7.
that
I'm still trying to
I
get
don't
to the
believe
bottom of that.
the school committee or the council
Thanks, Molly.
would do anything
This guy
untoward
stinks.
to vote in favor of.
I'm trying to figure out what the actual
your
business
members
is.
recuse themselves.
We hear you. Thank you very much. I
Voting.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
These
Is he though? It feels like
so
he
we have
maybe
people
was
online?
for it.
I think he was rather comfortable.
I-
with all
Yeah,
this.
We have one person.
I
who,
couldn't
called
tell.
in, And then we have a few folks on electronic devices. So the person who's on the phone, I'm going to try to unmute you now.
That guy
And
was
then you
very
must press
confusing to
star
me.
6
Also,
for your unmute to come forward.
I think we know who he wishes
So the person
recused
on the
themselves.
phone, I'll just try to unmute you now. If you can press star 6. If you want to unmute yourself.
Please be a Gary Rosen eulogy.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
I'm not hearing from the calling user, Mr. Mayor. We're going to go into folks with electronic devices. The first person I can identify is David Cohen. I'm going to try to unmute David now.
Somebody call in.
Mr. Cohen, can you hear us?
I was calling
Mr.
collect.
Cohen, can you hear us?
Yes, I wasn't call. I was just listening. I wasn't going to participate.
Okay, thank you.
The next speaker is Elena Destopoulos. I'm going to try to unmute Elena now. Destopoulos, can you hear us?
I think I found the proposal here.
Hi, yep, Elena Destopoulos, Fletcher Tilton. I represent Southfield Development. I believe it's item 12C. And I would just ask
that's the bridge.
the city council to recommend.
Molly's got something in the comments.
Zoning petition to rezone 300 Southbridge Street into the boundaries of the adapted reuse overlay.
Oh, you found it.
Thank you.
Yeah, page 5.
Mayor, the last speaker I can identify is Sherry. I'm going to try to unmute Sherry now. Okay, not hearing from Sherry. We're gonna, Mr. Mayor, that concludes.
Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what it
virtual
is.
platform.
We'll get one special guest. They should name and say your residence.
Oh, here we go.
And item number.
Bill Coleman. No, this is an item that you're speaking before the council. I'll be really brief. On December the 7th, this council voted to declare 2022
the year
was
of
the year of
kindness.
kindness.
Yeah.
And that message has been sent to 40 cities and towns around Massachusetts. Trying to get 10 more to agree with Worcester's lead. And to start that, I'm going to start the act of kindness. One to Matt Wally. I didn't get the memo either, but I'm not elected. But Matt, I'd like to give you a T-shirt. This
I
was
like that he had to check the sizes first.
Matt Wally's t-shirt size, extra small, extra long.
You have this for your work for the council.
Okay, so interesting. There's
And the other one I want to give is to Gary Rosen.
There's just a petition to change the zoning, but not anything about what it's going to be used for. And it's two Greek guys that are trying to get it changed. Konstantinos Fatini and Valiki and
some of you may remember the
GT. I really appreciate your use of the GIS system. It's one of my favorite systems in the world.
I'd say let our hair down, but some of us let our hair go. And we would just have some chill out time before a final election. But to both of you, I want to thank you for working on the city issues. And I want to thank
While it
you
is kind what Bill just did, I feel like this
counsel that we both had to each other.
this really just highlights what I've been saying for years, that we need a municipal t-shirt cannon.
And I only wish
With all the failed sports teams that we've had, there's got to be dozens of t-shirt cannons just sitting around in
There's a
storage
whole
in the city.
storage closet in the DCU center.
It feels like that's what they're trying to do, right? That they're trying to make that whole property a store, and they want to get rid of the house upstairs.
7A for the public works. 7B.
Maybe it'll be a strip club. That'd be fun.
Parking. 7D. 7E. I'm sorry.
And then I could have a
We're
cool
hearing
like
2021.
train themed name.
Yeah,
riding the rail or something.
I do apologize. Can you correct this January 11th?
Like Railers Tavern.
Okay, so as amended.
Thank you. It was right there. The Rail Club is what I was picturing.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilmember
Yeah,
Carlson?
but we don't know what the single
Oh,
commercial
that's wrong,
structure
too.
Yes.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Get dark really
Rosen?
fast.
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
Council Wally?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Chairman's orders.
Pave paradise
8A
and
to
put up a
8E.
commercial
Motions
structure.
to adopt.
Oh,
Roll
what are
call.
the Brazilians gonna do?
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
They might be immigrants, but I
Yes.
still think they're
Councilman
nice.
Council Rivera?
Yes.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Council Rosen?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
No, I
Yes.
just read through the
Yes.
planning
Mayor
board
Petty.
Yes.
thing.
8A,
Nothing.
request the manager provide council to report concerning the process for utility work on the streets pertaining to notification, inspection, and completion. Council Rose?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kudos to Commissioner Fink, who
It's
walked
gonna
around
be
the
a gas
neighborhoods with me
station.
this
I think that's
morning,
exactly what
looking
it's
at
gotta
some
be
of
a
the
gas
work that was
station, right?
recently done by our utility folks. I think this is something that's come up a couple times or a few times in the last couple weeks where utilities come in, they get into the road.
Oh, hell
they
yeah.
patch it up.
Thanks for coming out.
Sometimes it looks really good, or they're waiting for things to settle. Sometimes
You
not.
are going to
It's been
learn
nice
to
have a
hate all these
report on what this
people.
process is,
So
what the
join
systems
us.
are,
We love
for
to have you.
inspection, from the beginning.
Oh, there's going to be a
all the way
public
through
hearing for the
final
planning board
inspection.
on the.
That'd be really helpful going into
Oh no,
neighborhood
that
meetings
happened last year.
and talking to
Never
constituents
mind.
about their concerns about how their roads are left once repairs have been made underground.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Manager.
Tom, what district do you live in?
Roll call.
It's important we find out what district you
Council
live in.
Bergman? Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson? Council Rivera?
And if you don't know your district, just give us your
Council
address and.
Yes.
Council Rosen?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Your social security number
Council
will help
Wally?
too.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. B, request manager explore adding a volunteer tab on the opportunity section of the city's website for volunteer.
Oh,
opportunities in the city.
D5. Do you want to call
and
in with a
effort to
eulogy?
Encourage community service. Council Rose?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I recently wrote
I
an
wonder if-
article that ended up getting published in Telegram and Gazette as it relates to community and service.
Tom, don't worry.
and
Your new
community
district counselor
service,
is in the
the
is
impact
lurking in
of
the chat
COVID on
tonight.
us,
So
as it relates to mental
if you have any
health and
issues,
food
let us
insecurity and the
know.
list goes on.
Are you guys a
Doing
fan
lot
of this
homework,
new
I was really
Rose 5
struggling
o'clock
to
shadow?
find, an area or
Okay, let's paint it on.
anything, where all of our volunteer opportunities
all
are
right.
kind of
It's
poured
okay.
into the same location or portal. Messing around with the city website, let's saw the opportunities tab there. Be a great thing if we had the opportunity, no pun intended, to put these volunteer postings up of folks who are in need of volunteers at a time where
it looks a little like an early
Just
'90s
thought it
Razor
was a
Ramon,
creative idea
like
for us to maybe be able to
beard,
explore,
like very
engage some stakeholders
colored
around
in.
the city to really encourage community service learning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you to the manager. Roll call.
Because D3's a
Council
ghost
Bergman?
town, Ben. You got to get out of
Council
there.
Calorio?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson? Council Rivera?
Yes.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Council Rosen?
Yes.
Oozing
Council Russell?
machismo.
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
Council Wally?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. 9C is held under privilege. We have 9D. Request city manager.
Yeah,
request
they were
Commissioner of Public Works realign
not- it was
fencing adjacent
not
to the
allowed to
park
be called a
area on
eulogy.
Graff Street across from Union Station for the pedestrian safety. Council Bergman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Those of us that frequent Union Station from time to time might be able to pick.
What the fuck are you doing at Union Station?
There's a set of steps, you come down.
The planning board minutes don't have any
Building
anything
on
about
Grafton
what it's going to
Street
be.
adjacent to the Union Station. When you come down the steps, there's the railing in front of you. You'd have to go to your left, or you have to go to your right to cross the street. When you go to your right or your left, there are no crosswalks helping you. So you're really kind of jeopardizing yourself. I'm assuming we don't want to move the steps, but if we could move the guardrails a little bit or add a crosswalk or a combination of the two, I think it'd be a lot safer for people coming out of that.
Especially dangerous on
There is kind
nights of
a
city council
low-traffic
meetings
area
when
there
your
that
at-large
they've
councilors are
very
driving around
difficult
like
to navigate,
lunatics on their phones.
As a pedestrian,
Certainly.
I think
Thank
for
you
safety
both for
reasons,
picking up on
It
this.
would be wise to take a look at that. So I don't know if the manager wants to keep it or refer to DPW, but that's the order. Thank you.
60% of the time, I'm there every time.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill
We'll
Carlson?
never know.
Council Rivera?
Yes.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Council Rosen?
Yes.
Council
Oh, is
Russell?
Rivera in front of a nice oil painting now?
Yes.
Council Wally? Yes. And Mayor Petty.
Yes. 9E, request manager, request Assistant Commissioner of Public Works and Parks, provide city council with update concerning the timetable of completion of work at Bennett Field. Council Bergman.
As it reads.
Send it to the manager. Roll call.
Council Bergman.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Bennett
Councilmember
Field.
Carlson. Council Rivera. Council Rose.
Yes.
Council Rosen.
Yes.
Council Russell. Yes. Council Toomey.
Yes.
Council Wally.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Request the manager, request the police chief provide increased speed enforcement on Gifford Drive. Council Toomey.
As it reads.
Roll call.
We used to
Bergman.
play
Council
home run
Gloria.
derby
Yes.
at Bennett
Council King.
Field, which is
Yes.
we take an
Councilor
aluminum
Carlson.
bat and then a
Councilor
bucket of
Rivera.
golf balls and then try and hit
Yes.
Council Rose.
Pizza Hut with
Yes.
golf
Council
balls.
Rosen.
Yes.
Council Russell.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Yes.
And the best part about it is if
Yes.
when you inevitably hit a
Yes.
car, they
Manager provide
couldn't tell where it was
council
coming
updates
from and they
concerning
couldn't
the
get to
Life
you.
Program in the Manny boxes. Council Toomey.
That's a fun game, dude.
Yeah,
I wanna play
very
that right
fun.
now.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson. Council Rivera.
Yes.
Council Rose.
What's that, a Picasso?
Yes.
Council Russell.
She's just straight up stunting
Toomey.
on everyone right
Yes.
now.
She's
Council Wally.
yeah.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Oh, you're in Worcester?
Too much drip.
I bet it's called.
9-8, which is adopted on the roll call. McDelmore Ave. Public roll call.
Council Bergman.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson. Council Rivera.
Yes.
Council Rose.
Yes.
Council Rosen.
Yes.
Council Russell.
There's no delay. She's just waiting so everyone
Yes.
gets a good
Wally.
look.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yeah.
Yes. 11A is the adopted on the roll call.
She had a whole
City
different
manager
spiel for
recommends
that
adoption
painting.
of
She was
Form
like,
R to
she's
approve
gonna be
the
like,
following
Gary
attached
Rosen reminds me of this
petitions
painting
forward
above
to
me, which is so
members of the
beautiful, from one of the most
Shout out to
talented
the
artists in
Water
Guatemala.
System for working members of the school committee. Mr. Trainer, I think this has to be unanimous, if I remember. Okay, Council King.
Castle King.
Thank you, Mr.
I love
Chairman. Just for the public's sake, I just had a couple of questions that are in this decree, in this petition. Just my understanding, just again, if you could just reiterate to the administration what the rules will look like for folks in terms of how long they have to be a resident of these districts. Can we get a quick answer on those? Eligibility.
Mr. Solicitor.
Wouldn't it just be regular voter eligibility?
Through the chair to the counselor.
Throw the chair.
The charter would be amended to require that someone running for a district seat on the school committee would have to reside in the district a year before the election, except for the 2023, if the new districts aren't in place by September 2022, then it'll be a 60-day residency requirement, but just for that one election.
Thank you. And with regards to vacancies, if a vacancy.
So if you
is
move
occurred,
twice in a year, you just can't
in
vote?
the office of the school committee district, what's the process for filling that in terms of special elections and things of that nature?
Through the chair of the counselor, between now and 2023 election, if there's a vacancy, we will fill the seats in accordance with the current charter provisions, which would be the next person in line that finished in the election.
As far as signatures goes, it looks like for at-large, it'll be around 300 signatures. For the district counselors, district committee members, what's the number for signatures for them?
The number of signatures are aligned with the number of signatures required for district counselors, and also for the at-large with the at-large counselors.
Thank you.
Can we agree
The
that having the
last question
title
I have
solicitor is hilarious?
Public safety. The Board of
You're the
Elections
official city solicitor.
has some
Yeah.
responsibility.
He looks
moving
like it.
forward. If you could just share what that responsibility is related to
The official city hookup artist.
dividing the city into districts.
Through the chair of the council, we foresee that as we move forward, once the legislation is adopted or while it's pending, whichever we start the process of devising the new 7 districts for 6 districts, rather, excuse me, for school committee, we will 2 hearings through the Board of Election Commissioners. We will be using an expert, Professor Pursley, possibly. We haven't discussed that with the plaintiff's attorneys yet, if they will accept him. We will identify the 2 majority-minority districts, and then the remaining districts will be done through public hearings to the Board of Election Commissioners with our experts' input as to how those districts should look, but he's looking for input from the community also on the district configurations.
And who's responsible for kind of navigating that and scheduling and communicating to the administration, all of that as relates to the expert and
through the chair to the council, I'll work with the city clerk as we provide the Board of Election Commissioners to chart out the hearings to undertake that process.
Thank you. I guess the only ask I have related to this is just to make sure that the council is clear about where we are at as we move forward. There's been a lot of work put into this. I want to thank everyone once again, the mayor, for his leadership on this. I look forward to a unanimous vote, and I'll be interested to see.
Does Christian even care what that old farmer was saying earlier?
As far as all of that goes, and again, we have until September.
People don't know.
September.
People don't know. This is going to be extremely confusing.
Through the chair, yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect timing.
Okay. So the final vote, the council doesn't take the final vote on the map, does it?
Crafty kombucha, everybody.
That's the Elections Commission.
Just want to say that.
Just want to be clear.
To the chair, yes, that's correct. It would be the Elections Commission.
Okay. Council Berger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very, very briefly through you to the city solicitor. Could you just go over very briefly the notion that was said from the chair that this has to be unanimous? Is this at this? Could you just go over that, please?
Sure. Through the chair of the council, that's a provision that was agreed to in the consent decree. Show unanimity to the general
Good point,
board.
GT.
And when the item comes back, is that same unanimity required?
Through the chair of the council, the item will not come back if the legislature passes it that amends the charter.
And is voting to approve it a condition of the consent decree?
I'm sorry.
Is voting to approve this tonight unanimously a condition of the consent decree?
Through the chair, yes.
And do you have to have a full council, or is any unanimity of the councilors present consistent with the consent decree?
Through the chair, I would say that if it's a unanimous vote, no matter what the number, then it's a unanimous vote. It doesn't say that all of the council.
So we made Candy stay home for nothing.
Okay, so we will do a roll call. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Caloria?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson? Council
They're
Rivera?
never going to change this. The
Yes.
three council
Council
districts.
Rose?
Yes.
Council Rosen?
We're
Yes.
just going to have
Council
5
Russell?
districts,
Yes.
6
Council Toomey?
Yes.
from
Wally?
districts.
Yes.
No one's going to know who to
Okay.
vote for.
Yes. Okay,
Do we need
Big
motion
thanks to Molly Cronin for this great meme.
reconsideration. The motion is to
Nobody
reconsider.
caught that.
Roll call.
Fantastic.
Council Bergman?
No.
Council Caloria?
No.
Wow,
Council King?
no.
No.
Council
You guys are
Carlson?
friends.
Council Rivera?
Yeah, you guys are tight. What happened?
Council
No.
Rose?
No.
Council Rosen?
No.
Council Russell? No. Council Toomey?
No.
Council Wally?
No.
And Mayor Petty?
No. So we'll take 12A, B, and C, and 12E. On the roll call. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Mr. Chair, I apologize. You say 12D because I thought that was being held.
No, I said 12E.
What are you fiddling with tonight, Bill? Is it a baby's rattle?
Thank you.
It's my mouse.
12E.
Scrolling.
Council
And I'm
Bergman?
actually
Yes.
scrolling.
Council Caloria?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson?
So I'm productively fidgeting.
Rivera?
Yes.
They hear me
Council Rose?
scrolling.
Yes.
Council Rosen?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
Council Wally?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. 13A, 13B, motions to accept. 14A, motion to accept and adopt on the roll call.
Mr. Chairman?
You want to pull an item
Did
up?
we go over the orders already? Did we already do 9?
14A?
Yes.
Okay, so do.
Which one was that?
Do 13A and 13B.
Those are all the
on the
orders.
roll call.
I think they held it,
Council-
didn't they?
Council
They
Bergman?
held all the orders?
Council Caloria?
Yes.
Council King?
All of
Yes.
9?
That sounded
Merrill
like it, yeah.
Carlson?
Oh, I missed
Council
that.
Rivera?
Yeah,
Yes.
pushed it off for the first
Rose?
meeting of the New Year.
Rosen?
Yes.
Council
Oh,
Russell?
all right, so they're basically
Toomey?
done then.
Yes.
Wally?
Yes.
Wow, what a nothing meeting.
Yes. 14A, Council Russell.
Mr. Chairman,
There's nothing
I
left on
just
this
want to ask
agenda.
a question through you to the attorney trainer from the law department.
That's solicitor,
Is
sir.
this worded properly? Because I thought this was a home rule petition also, and it doesn't say that in the item. This is the item on the streets, on the street conversions.
Oh my
Isn't that a home
God.
rule petition through you, Mr. Chairman?
George Russell sometimes he just asks some questions that he just does not have to know the answer to. Like I don't. What's he getting at?
Do the chair to the council. Yes, we proposed a home rule petition, and I believe the committee
Travis, come back.
recommended it.
I had a joke, but
What
I'm
we
like, this is
submitted,
stupid, so I figured it's thrown away.
And then so
George Russell's looking at this thing. I did not mention,
if the
see
council's
one
voting
mention
to
of
approve that, then
halibut
we file
or
it's the order to file.
salmon.
We don't have an order before you, but you could.
He looks like a walrus.
take
That's
this
my
as
joke.
Because he's a
All
big,
right.
yeah, he's a
proposal,
big animal.
approving the final legislation. And
He's a big, huge animal. We get it. That's a good joke.
Putting forward a home rule petition. Or do
Um,
we need to make the amendment for that?
That's the will of the council. Yes, we can then just backfill with an actual order for the file.
Well, I would just amend it so that it is the home rule.
The home rule petition.
Yes,
Okay.
as amended. And the
Okay.
only thing that the committee suggested as changes was just trying to bump up the threshold and make more people be able to qualify.
When George got that tie as a gift last Christmas, did he ever unwrap it?
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Still in
Councilor
plastic
Loya?
around his
King?
neck right now.
Councilor Carlson? Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Rosen?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Councilor Wally?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay, 14B is motions accept.
You know, I'm gonna miss Gary
15A
Rosen.
Is put up on the roll call.
He's always
He'll
an
be back.
entertaining little guy.
15B, the 15.
This isn't a eulogy.
Well, maybe.
Accept. We take those collectively on the roll call. Roll call.
I hope they
Councilor
appoint him as
Bergman?
city manager.
Gloria?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Oh, that would
Councilor
rule.
Carlson?
Yeah.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Does all his
Councilor
business
Rose?
on the pickle
Yes.
court, on the
Councilor
pickleball
Rosen?
court.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Councilor Wally?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
He would come on the show
Yes.
in a heartbeat.
Okay, that brings us
We'll
to
get
the
him
end
on.
of
Oh my
the
God,
agenda.
you're right,
Wish
he would.
everybody Merry Christmas.
Wow, I gotta call him.
And Happy New Year. And, we'll be back
Now,
on
come on,
January 11th.
fellas. I don't really
If
think it's
things
in
go well, the
good
inauguration will occur on
humor to
January
compare
3rd.
one of my former colleagues to a walrus.
So, motion to adjourn, roll call.
We just start
Councilor
bullying
Bergman?
him.
Councilor
Shut
Gloria?
up, Gary.
Councilor King?
Gary, you
Councilor
suck, bitch.
Carlson? Councilor Rivera?
Ride the
Gary, you're
bus,
the dumbest
Gary.
one here
Yes.
by a
Free.
mile.
Rose? Councilor Rosen?
No.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Councilor Wally?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cute. Gary Rosen voted no on his last meeting. He never wants it to end. Aw.
Wow. Well, there we go, everybody.
a-
That is the end of an
Gary's
era.
unfair.
Gary Rosen
We'll miss you,
is
Gary. Let's go, Matt
gonzo.
Wally.
Matt
Gary,
Wally
come back.
is
Come back, Gary.
out of here.
Gary,
Gary
come back. I
will
wanna
be
hear
the
you
new
out.
co-host of this show. We'll get him on. That is a wrap on 2021 for the Worcester City Council. What do we think, guys? What do we? What are your thoughts
Well,
going into the end of the year?
I like the lady who had nice things to say about her Brazilian neighbors.
That was kind.
Yeah, that
that
was
was,
so.
that was
perfect.
that was a weird play. That was a very weird play. Yeah, they really didn't do much at all. I mean, we got to dispense forever with the talking about the city councilors on their way out for a half hour. That's such an insane tradition. Atal, are you still in here? Can you get rid of that?
Yeah, so all our hopes lie on you to really get out in front of these issues and hurt public opinion on you to be able to let us have an easier time watching these things.
It should just be an airing of grievances. I mean, you have that one opportunity.
Yeah,
It's true.
no one takes it.
It's true. Matt Wally, you never picked up a fucking check at the Boynton. You always ate too many fried pickles, and you never factored in tax when we were splitting the bill. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah. that's a wrap. It's the last time we're going to see Matt Wallace. The last time we're going to see Gary Rosen.
Oh, they'll all be back.
And
Gary never goes away for long.
Gary's going to become the new Bill Coleman. He's going to come talk at every meeting, have something to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and Matt Wally will be infamous for committing a heinous crime and
on the inauguration,
being broken out of Worcester County Jail once a year to go on another spree.
Recuse himself from Worcester County Jail.
Oh, wait, does Kenny Merrill Carlson and Matt Wally actually have beef?
Yeah, I'm
Mo
interested
Bergman?
in that. Bo Bergman, what do we think?
Tell me.
I would love to know if they're fighting, because that would be a hilariously petty reason to.
Yeah, that's like straight out of
the meeting. But also, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to be the only one that doesn't say anything? Because she's way too petty to like pretend to say nice things.
Yeah, right.
So
it'd be
like, I'm just
so
not
sick
going.
if she got up and she was like, you know what, Matt,
I choose to believe it.
I never cared for you. I never cared for you one bit. I never cared for you at all. And then, we had that little thing last summer, and you just handled that really poorly. You could have been a lot nicer about that. Yeah, it's a lover's quarrel.
Yeah.
So how do we start up the next year, Bill? With those items in particular that were held, do you think that was done just to, like, I don't know, make things difficult for the new folks, or?
No, none of the. So there's like 9 or 10 items here, and many of them are kind of inconsequential. Like request city manager, request police chief provide increased speed enforcement on Gifford Drive.
Sure. The charter review one I thought was interesting. It's been a long time since anyone's uttered those words in council chambers.
It will make it so that the first meeting of this new city council will have to do with charter review.
Yeah.
At least in a small way. So
what is Mo Bergman's angle on that? Is there some other nefarious thing that they're looking to get done?
Oh yeah, he's always doing something. He wants it to be 3-year city council terms.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
Oh, okay.
Because he's just sick of pretending to run for office. He doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants 3-year terms, and that would be an even bigger nightmare if you really think about it, because every other year would be an off year, and then every other year would be like on the presidential or gubernatorial election. So it'd be like 2019 and then 2022 and then 2025 and then 2028, which would be a presidential. That's really weird.
Yeah. It would be cool if they shifted it so that it was the same, it was midterms and presidential elections. I know why they don't, but
no, they definitely should.
Really,
they
like
don't want that
turnout.
many people voting.
No.
What's
we
that?
need the low turnout.
Yeah, they like the low turnout. They don't want more turnout. They just want to complain about it.
But I think it bears repeating too that I mean, people will get excited about charter review, but it can't be a one-off thing. Once that door is open, everything's on the table, and that's when the strong mayor folks are going to come out. I'm always back and forth as to how I feel about that, but in a city that's run the way ours is, that could be a really disastrous move if it's not done well.
Yeah,
that would be a huge. That would be a beckoning to money.
Yeah, Ed Augustus is just formally anointed the mayor of Worcester, and then has the control to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That said, I mean, it is a document that goes back to '85, and like we were talking about earlier, I mean, it doesn't even reference the internet when it comes to significant contracts that we hold with outside corporations. Like, it probably could use some updating. It just needs to be done carefully.
Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
Molly.
I mean,
we're gonna do one card. All right, Molly. We're gonna do a one-card poll. Yeah, we're gonna do a one-card reading to decide which board you're going to be joining, and that is the 5 of Rings. You got the 5 of Rings, Molly. Let me see let me consult the book. 5 of Rings.
That board isn't in my copy of the charter.
No. What's the ring board, dude? That's pretty cool.
Where is the 5 of rings? I'm finding it. Molly, which board do you think that you want to be on?
Don't do it.
What are the options?
Don't you ever say that.
All right, rings. 5.
What are the options? Want me to pull up the options and read them off?
Yeah.
Worcester.
The 5 of rings.
Boards.
Key symbols are the eye and stinging nettles. This card represents financial and material troubles, struggle, victim mentalities, and rejection. So victim mentalities, you should probably be on the city council.
And city council is the finance committee.
Yeah. The hand finds itself surrounded by stinging nettles, pained by unfavorable circumstances. The eye and proximity to the nettles suggest understanding that one's strife is self-inflicted. Reverse, this card can imply chaos, discord, or resolution. Okay. Now, right off the bat, I will say, Molly, probably the biggest Tolkien scholar that we have in Worcester.
Yeah.
Her opinion is that it's off-street parking committee.
Perfect fit.
Yeah. That's where the real chaos. It's the real havoc point. Yeah.
What district is Molly in?
Molly just moved back to Worcester. She is, I don't know where her place is. Hopefully she'll tell us in a second here. We should run her for the next election, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like a puppet, like a Manchurian candidate.
Yeah, and everything is just decreed by this board.
Yes.
I mean, there's an opening on the Commission for the Preservation of Historic Artifacts, Relics, and Military Memorials. I think the relics need more attention these days.
I think that's a big one.
There's going to be a tree committee.
Yeah, Molly, if you're not willing to knock off a tail in the next election, then I think that's a good one. Great point, Jess. Ran down here with her cards and then ran back upstairs to get back on commenting. Appreciate that effort. Money budgeting.
I love all these new D5 residents. You guys should all come over here while we're doing the show and we'll fishbowl my little office. It'll be fantastic.
I think that a budget board is perfect for Molly because she absolutely knows Excel better than any single person that has anything to do with the city. I think that's where we're at. I think Molly needs to be the master of coin for the city of Worcester.
There's an opening on the Citizens Advisory Council for 5. We could start packing the court with that one.
Here we go, Molly.
There's Jenny. We're gonna advise. We're gonna advise so many citizens.
I think we've made the decision that Molly is going to be a puppet for this this chat here. Everyone on this chat will be able to filter all of our kind of thoughts, and she will carry them out as our sneaky little council member.
Our man on the inside.
How we figure that out? Yeah. As long as they're memeable. Yes, absolutely.
Naturally.
So yeah, I mean, I think obviously there's a lot of stuff. They've been pushing everything off until the new year. So we have all this stuff that is going to, kind of happen in the first few weeks of the new council. We have a new council to kind of see how things are going to play out. The math will change. That we know the math will change. We know that the kind of temperament of the council is going to change. I'm absolutely 100% excited just from an entertainment standpoint to see how the meetings run differently, how more contentious it could possibly get.
I think it will.
Yeah. So we have.
I'm very excited.
So very much to look forward to.
Who's going to be the first person to mispronounce Attell's name?
Mo Bergman.
God.
Or
Bergman's going to go out of his way. I mean, probably Joe Petty just because he's going to be the one speaking the most, but
Yeah,
Mo Bergman's going to go out of his way to say it the most wrong he possibly can.
Yeah, all the time.
Look forward
He's
to
such
that.
a queen. He's such a queen.
He's a petty bitch.
Yeah.
It's gonna rule.
Are we expecting you guys next week?
Yeah, on Monday.
We are gonna do Monday during the inauguration, as we mentioned earlier.
Oh wait, no, that's not next week. Sorry, my bad. That's in 2 weeks.
Sorry, Travis, you're right. No, we're gonna take a week off because everybody deserves to spend some time with their family and.
Oh my god, that's gonna be the counter. How many times do we misgender?
Yeah,
misgender counter,
and we will destroy them. If you misgender too, we will destroy you.
Yeah,
that is the
I'm gonna come
solemn promise that this stream will absolutely light your ass up if you misgender too.
So please misgender me as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
We will fuck your whole world up.
Flaming bags of shit.
Which Mo Bergman will gobble up like a greedy little puppy. We'll take next week off. Relax. We love you too, Bo Bergman. We will see you guys for the inauguration, which we'll make some posts about. I think it starts at 5:30. I want to say. It's a little earlier, so we'll be on ahead of time for all of the inauguration coverage. I don't know what the schedule of the event is going to be. I assume that they'll have Victor Infante read a poem. And we'll just be off to the races from there. They're going to do the national anthem twice to show how important the event is.
If I remember correctly from the last one, it was at Mechanics Hall, and one of the high school bands did a song, a very patriotic song, and they were not that good. Being a band.
Do y'all remember the year that Joe Bryan took the bus?
No. To the inauguration?
When Joe Bryan was mayor, they did it up at Tech, and I mean, it was a nice sentiment. It was like you had mentioned, Bill. It's like when the mayor normally sets their agenda, Joe wanted to set his agenda around a very community focused sort of program. So he took the WRTA to the inauguration and made a big thing about it.
It took him forever to get up there.
Yeah, I think he was late. It was.
Yeah, it probably took him like 3 hours.
Yeah, we're gonna have city council fits on. We absolutely are planning, hoping to have a correspondent on the ground there, but we're not gonna give away at all. Yeah, GT, what do you think? This is very true. You could get there for free with Gary Rosen. So thank you all for, we've done 6-7 of these so far. It's been an amazing, fun, insane time. I want to thank everybody that has followed us, has joined in on these. Truly, the comments are what make it worth doing. And we couldn't do it without you guys. And I want to say shout out to Travis Duda as well, our intrepid producer, the maker of memes. Think of some. Let's get some ready. We'll have some ready for the inauguration. So if you have pitches, send them to Wooten Andy Comedy on Instagram, or just blast them all over Facebook and we'll find them. Squeebo, our new friend Squeebo. Thanks, Squeebo. We've had an amazing time with you guys. Shaun's in Texas. He will be back after the holidays, and let's call it there for the year, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Please follow all of our things. You guys know the deal. Please subscribe to Worcester Sucks and I Love It. BillShaner.substack.com. He's doing great work. You guys, the more people that support it, the more he can do that. 508 podcast, a show about Worcester. Check it out. Brendan puts out an episode, I don't know, once a year at this point.
Yeah, once a year, yeah.
But that one episode, yeah. Wooten Andy's got things going on all the time. Look at our recent videos. We did a D&D Twitch stream last week or last week. It was very fun. We had a great time. We're hoping to do more of those soon. So Make some donations for the holidays. Drop some food off at the free fridges. Venmo them, and take care of yourselves, everybody. We will see you guys very soon. Drink all the crafty kombucha you can drink. Truly, it's been amazing to have Matt as a sponsor. We really, really love this product. We love this guy. Support him. He's doing great things, and we just love the product, honestly. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you in 2022, not next Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.